Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Carissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. Patriarchal systems and structures established to maintain the status quo are designed to crush dissent. They're meant to keep people in their place, preventing them from creating problems for those who hold power. It's human nature to want to protect and preserve what we know, because the alternative can be scary, and we certainly don't have a user manual for the unknown. So it won't come as a surprise to you that in your life you'll come across people who will put in their best effort to keep you in a space where you are manageable and no longer pose a threat to their comfort. You've probably felt this in family dynamics, workplaces, or even friendships. Those moments when speaking your truth suddenly makes you difficult. If you're feeling like you need to change yourself in order to not create friction or displease others, this episode is for you. By the end, you'll know exactly what you can do to stand in spiritual alignment and not bend to external pressure. A couple years ago, a friend and I arranged to take our boys on a trip to Vegas to watch a UFC fight. These boys had been friends since preschool and were graduating high school, so we hoped it would be a memorable experience to celebrate the milestone. Over the few days we were there, my friend and I mostly did our own thing, sightseeing, shopping, sleeping, and we would meet up with the boys, usually at mealtimes. Close to the end of the trip, the father of my son's friend, who had also come along, pulled me aside and told me all the ways I was and had been spoiling his trip and his life. That I was being mean, and that because of me, he wasn't able to have relationships with my husband and my kids. He requested that I consider what I was doing and to endeavor to be nicer. This experience is the epitome of the patriarchal entitlement, one person being asked to change in order to keep a man comfortable, while he takes no responsibility for the discomfort he's created. For this episode, the card we're going to look at is the Queen of Swords in the what to call in position. This card in this suit can be a bit of a hard pill to swallow if you're early in your healing journey. First, when we get a court card, we need to be mindful that they are what is called ascended mastery. Think of this like phases of life. You start out as an infant, all fresh and new, with everything to learn. But then, as you reach adulthood and have gone through a few life trials, that's when you're entering or in court card energy. With the swords, you've had time to master some or all of your thinking. You're wise to the way things play out so you can see the patterns instead of being in them and reacting. The imagery has the queen sitting on her throne. Her head and shoulders are above the clouds, so she has a bird's eye view of what is going on. She also has her sword poised and ready to cut through anything meant to create confusion. In the what to call in position, the Queen of Swords is challenging you to see a situation clearly, to set boundaries you can stand firm in, and to address the issue with clarity and strength. Most importantly, by doing this, you would be prioritizing your own emotional well-being instead of catering to external influence. Many moons ago, there would have been a time when I would have taken the words of this father to heart and taken steps to soften or fix the situation. Fortunately, when the conversation in Vegas happened, I had done a lot of the healing I'm going to share with you today, so I didn't end up internalizing his wishes. As with the Queen of Swords energy, there is this magical experience you get when you have mastery over your mind, so you can observe a conversation as it's happening instead of being triggered by what's being said. Noticing when the emotions start to rise or the mind starts racing, trying to establish a rebuttal to what is being said, is the sweet spot you're looking for. This magical experience allows you the chance to identify and stop cycles as they are happening, and that's a pretty powerful place to sit. Patriarchal systems and structures thrive when you are constantly reactive, so you don't have time to question or calm your thoughts. The minute you protest, you get labeled as difficult, which I'm sure you know can trigger all the fear, shame, and guilt, and all the other negative emotions and thoughts that you carry. I want to highlight the spiritual law of personal responsibility here, which states that each of us has an obligation to own our actions, choices, and the consequences they have on the world. When systems and structures go unchecked, or worse, when you uphold them, you become an agent of your own harm, perpetuating the very thing you want to have stopped. So for my example, that would have been me changing my ways in order to relieve the father of discomfort he himself created. And doing that would cause me to have to twist myself into a pretzel, emotionally and mentally, in order to comply. And nobody wants to do that. When you have the spiritual alignment that supports you in seeing the situation clearly, it is much easier to see where effective boundaries are needed and how you can hold them, all of which honors the spiritual law of personal responsibility. Your job is to stay responsible for yourself, your peace, your clarity, your inner truth. You don't owe anyone comfort, nor are you required to facilitate their emotional regulation. And you'll benefit by staying centered and not absorbing someone else's emotional baggage. When all was said and the Father was waiting for me to bend to his will, my response was simple and clear. I told him I didn't think I could give him what he was asking for. I waited in silence because I knew he wasn't ready for this type of response, but I also didn't owe him an explanation. And then, when I had had enough, I asked if we were done and walked away. The crystal I'm going to offer for this work is Sodalite, and here's why. Sodalite works with your third eye, supporting the energy you need when facing situations full of paradox. It will help you cut through mental clutter, bring clarity to the confusion, and allow you to see the patterns at play and situation for what it is. Sodalite helps you stay rooted in the present and in personal responsibility. It stimulates deep introspection and self-honesty, making it easier to take ownership for your emotions and choices, and that it's not your job to manage someone else's perception of you or their feelings. When it comes to boundaries, a lot of the time you'll feel pressure to bend because past or future concerns are raised or used, and this sets off the guilt and self-doubt spiral. Sodalite counters that by helping you stay focused on the moment and supporting clear, firm decisions without apology. Finally, Sodalite quiets mental overaction, helping to soothe nervous energy and foster inner trust. You'll feel calm in the silence after asserting a boundary, staying rooted long enough to see what's actually yours to deal with. This level of discernment is a cornerstone of spiritual alignment, because when you stop trying to fix what was never yours to fix, you reclaim your emotional and mental peace. The first thing you can do to stand in spiritual alignment and not bend to external pressure is to spot the pattern of when and where you shrink. Here's a ritual that will help you do just that. You will need your Sodalite, paper, and a pen. Hold the Sodalite in your non-dominant hand and focus on your breath. Allow yourself to settle into the current moment, and when you feel fully present, place the crystal down above or near the paper. Reflect on a situation or moment when you bent to external pressure. Maybe you said yes, but you wanted to say no, or you stayed quiet instead of sharing your ideas or opinions. Take a few moments to journal about the following questions. What pressure did you feel that inspired you to go against your own spiritual alignment? What explicit or hidden rule or belief influenced this choice? How did this choice help keep you safe in the moment? Where else in your life do you behave the same way, or this pattern shows up? Use this time to document and observe the answers as you go through this exercise. Once you feel a sense of completion, you can review what was written to look for patterns. As always, you can carry the crystal with you or place it on your altar as a physical reminder of the work you have done here today. Now be mindful as you do this ritual. This isn't about casting shame onto yourself, but to open up your awareness of the patterns, systems, and structures that are manipulating the experiences. It's not about changing the other person. It's about trusting yourself when no one else gets it. Today's pairing of the Queen of Swords with Sodalite is from a recent crystal and tarot forecast inside the Charmed community. I invite you to join me in this free space where I share these readings weekly to help you align your energy and focus your week. You'll also get the opportunity to connect with others who are exploring their growth and creating change in their lives just like you. Join us for free. The link is in the show notes. And if you're tired of being on an emotional roller coaster, constantly juggling everything in your life, and you want to be part of a space that holds you in your healing, a space where you could feel seen, supported, and connected, I'd love to have you join me inside the Crystal Self-Healer members portal. It's where we go beyond the weekly guidance and we apply it to your life, equipping you with the tools, resources, and support to build your confidence in crystal healing and emotional self-care. Inside, you'll get personalized coaching, healing sessions, rituals, and everything you need to truly empower yourself to live with more ease and alignment. Visit my website, 3charmedgems.com, or click the link in the show notes to learn more and join me. It's time to stop living at the mercy of emotional triggers and start living in spiritual integrity. The Crystal Self-Healer members portal is where that shift begins. Come join me and find your clarity. Today's episode has been brought to you by the Queen of Swords, Sodalite, and personal responsibility. May we all see the patterns around us so we can step into our own power to release what is not ours. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.